Hi guys, welcome back. All right, this is going to be a today's topic reading, and it is going to be for May the 14th. Okay, so let's see where this one takes us. I know I'm rather disheveled. Yes, I've been outside once again with my dog, and it's like every time I go out, I come in looking more disheveled. So anyway, thanks for rolling with it, guys. Thanks for your awesome energy. As always, if you are watching this series of videos that I put out, the ones that I call my today's topic series, you can always enter to win a free reading here if you are a subscriber, and give this video a thumbs up and write the word compassion in the comment section. That lets me know you would like to be entered to win. All right, we are starting out with the labyrinth. The labyrinth it can be the winding path that we take through life. It can be our mind. It can represent like when we're even like troubled by something, can't figure out what to do, but we're trying to get to the middle, right? And the middle is the conclusion. In this case, you notice how we have multiple people in different paths. So I'm gonna say it like I see it here. To me, this looks like a situation where there may be actually 4 individuals, because we actually see 4 here, that are crisscrossing paths, right? These could be complicated interactions that they have, because if you look closely, like these folks are going to be basically in alignment, but they're actually still separated by their row on the hedge. And so a labyrinth is really it's designed so that we take time, and it's supposed to be something that helps us to meditate, right? When we walk through a labyrinth, it, instead of just going to the straightest point to get right there to the center, we wind our way through something. And so we should be learning, we should be giving ourselves time to experience things, clear our minds, come to conclusions before we get to the middle. But along that path, we get a chance to interact with people, but you notice none of these characters are actually at the same point in their journey. They're all going to be aligned where they could have an easier time talking through the hedge or over the hedge, but they're destined, because they're all going different directions. They're at different points in their journey, and they're actually going to cross paths and never be in the same row until they get to the middle. So we have a complicated situation right now. We have one person that completed the journey. They reached some state of enlightenment. They reached some conclusion. And then we have these characters that are still on their journey. One has almost barely begun their journey. So let's take a look at this. I hesitate to do a story where we're going to talk about 4 people, but I don't have a choice, because we see 4 in that card, and we're going to do it. So here we go. Let's see what we get. I want 1 card for each person, please. So our character who's furthest away, okay, our character who is the masculine, who would be this in the second row, our character who is the feminine, who's getting closer to the middle, and then our character who's already in the middle. What have we got? How are we talking about these? So the one in the middle, interestingly enough, they have two cards. Okay, so our feminine out here, and these don't have to be feminines or masculines, do bear that in mind, but our feminine who's furthest out, basically the beginning point in her journey, she's at a state of needing to heal. And that probably represents what this labyrinth really is for her then. So she's on a healing journey. She's at a place where she may be very singularly focused on, what do I need to do to heal? And if you look at this image, this should be a card of like, I'm peaceful and I'm healing, but she's actually kind of in a little bit of a protective stance. She's got this sword, but she doesn't actually look very peaceful. She looks like she's, I'll defend myself. Part of our healing sometimes can be like that phase of like, I've been wounded, I acknowledge that, and I'll be damned if I'm going to let somebody else hurt me. And so she may be in that defensive mode. This is still maybe part of the healing, but right now it may be very much like, don't think that you're coming close to me, because I'm not going to take that from anybody. But that is part of her journey. But it makes sense why she's maybe at the beginning of a healing journey, because once you get through that part, then we start to realize, okay, wait a second, I don't have to be defensive toward everyone. Not everyone's coming in to hurt me. Maybe I'm reacting because I'm still feeling wounded, and so I feel like I got to defend myself all the time. So, she may go through different phases of that healing. So that's her journey. So our masculine is in totally different vibe. They're on this like kind of kicking up their heels. They're kind of loving life. They're kind of being self-indulgent. They're kind of like living it up right now. And it's a weird blend, right? We got pumpkins and we got pineapples sitting here side by side. Like this doesn't even make sense. So they're getting a taste of everything. Like maybe I want pumpkins, maybe I want pineapple. That doesn't really, I can't think of a single dish out there that is pumpkin, pineapple, anything, because, typically that's not even the same like season. Pineapples are more like grown in tropical places. Pumpkins, not that they couldn't grow there too, I suppose, but I think of pumpkins associated with, nothing to do with pineapples. Pumpkins are, they're fall, they're holiday, they're harvest time, it's squash, so very different. So this person's got like a crazy sampler of everything, and they're really focused on, I'm living a good life. Everything that I do, every cup that I sip is just purely because like I want to experience this and it's all about my fun. So, and this can be a card or the Nine of Cups can carry with it like this overindulgent energy flow. Now, our person who's getting real close to the middle, this character is now being depicted by that Page of Swords. There's a whole lot of thought going on here. There's a whole lot of like, now they're in a quiet, contemplative state where we're watching and observing life. We're figuring out life a little bit, where this character is in a totally different place than these other two. Now, let me mention something else here. It could be that all of these characters are actually the same person, and we're talking about the different phases in our life. Doesn't matter if we're divine masculine, divine feminine, because we have that blend in ourselves. So this could be one person's journey through these different phases of their life, right? I was hurt once upon a time and I was defensive for a while, but I was working on healing. Then I got healed, and then I was like, oh my God, I feel like I'm alive again. I want to taste everything. I want to experience everything. Maybe I'm a little wild and a little indulgent from time to time. Then I keep going and I get more contemplative and I go, wait a second. Let me look at my own behavior. Let me look at the behavior of others. Let me contemplate life at a deeper level. I realize now I have a lot more to learn. And I think that that's a major breakthrough. So the person who's getting closer to the center, they're looking for more information. And then finally, our person who's in the middle, they got two cards, but they're both in the reverse. Our person in the middle is in this energy vibe of, you would think that being in the middle would be a really good place to be, right? However, they have made confident decisions here that I don't want something. I'm not passionate about a certain thing anymore. And with this Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, I am changing my direction altogether. It's almost like, how do I say this? Something that I thought I wanted or something that I thought I needed to do for a long time, I realize now that I'm at the center of this, now that I've reached the pinnacle, I've realized that that's been a journey for me, but I'm ready for a new journey. This is a completion. I have no more interest in being in a labyrinth because I don't have to be. I learned what I needed to, and I want to do something else now. I want to do something different. If this is all one person's journey, once we reach that center point, that's when we're bored with this now. It's like, oh my gosh, I've been down that road. I've done this. I've done that. I went through the hurt. I went through the healing. I went through my kicking up my heels, being wild, sowing my wild oats. Then I got more contemplative. And now I realize that whole phase of my life is like, it's a wrap. I'm good. Now, next adventure, please. I'm a little wiser. I've had these experiences. Now I want what's next. If that's one person, if this is all four separate people, we're still seeing four very different people. So I'm going to read this in both ways. What is the unifying energy if this is four different characters? Why do we see all four here? Is there something that are these soul group members that are all in different phases of their life? Is this like, get the Emperor, the unifying? Okay, so first off, I will say this could talk about four siblings, and they are all related to this could be a father figure, or this could represent all four people work at the same company. This could be a group of friends who have one particular boss or somebody. So we may be under the umbrella of one, and this is a terrific boss or a terrific father figure. Now, this can also simply talk about if this is one person's journey in particular, this may be one person's journey toward becoming this. This is where we own our life. We are the decision maker. We're the shot caller. We're the person in charge. This could be one person's journey to really like self-awareness and enlightenment. And I do think it's interesting that this person ends as a divine masculine, yet we saw them in feminine energy 3 times and a masculine energy once. So I do feel like absolutely this could talk, because we all have divine masculine and feminine within us. Sometimes we're on the receiving end, sometimes we're on the like action taking end. This person has gotten to the point where they are super powerful and they are showing up as a divine masculine. Again, it could be a female, but the big message here is that the unifying energy is we have one person who has like achieved like a completed, like, I know who I am now. I've been through all these journeys and I know exactly who I am. This is a more mature person. This, in these 4 segments, this could represent like different periods of time, like different decades of life or, things like that we've gone through. Now, let me bounce back for just a second and say, but if this was about 4 different characters and this is the unifying energy, not only am I thinking this could be a father figure and these are all siblings, or a boss figure and these are all people who work together, this could also represent like the unifying energy here is something to do with like they're all working toward finding that self-actualization, and they're all taking different roads to get there because they had different lessons to learn, if that makes sense. So, people aren't that different from each other. We all have different experiences in life, but we're all kind of headed, we're all human. So we're all having some version of the same experience, at least enough to be able to recognize each other, as fellow human beings. So let's see. I want to know a little bit more about, because it's kind of a strange storytelling. I feel almost like I want to go back to the labyrinth and I want to do 1 or 2 more cards out of that initial deck right now. Tell me a little bit more about this. So we have loyalty with the puppy, with the dog, and then we also have the inner compass here. And the inner compass is, where is the true north? This is like our soul guiding us, leading us where we want to go. If this is, I kind of feel like this is a very spiritual reading, to be honest, even though it's taking place very much in the 3D, because we've been talking about individuals on this journey. But all of this is, I want to say that it's individuals' quests for like, are we loyal to ourselves and who we really are? Are we committed to, like doing the right thing for who we are authentically? I feel like this is 4 people that are all trying to find themselves and figure out, where should I give my loyalty? Because this puppy is coming in to offer his loyalty. He's bringing the leash. It's not on him. He's carrying it in his mouth and saying, I want to commit to something, but I'm looking for it. So all these people, and by virtue of them being on a journey, they are seeking something. As much as they're growing, they're also looking for something, but they're looking for themselves, if that makes sense. They're looking for their true north, each in different ways, or one person maybe again, if this is one person's read, they're looking for themselves and they do find it. I feel like we need to now talk about that emperor, because if that's the unifying energy in this, in fact, let's stick with that deck, because that deck is among my favorites, even though 1 card is sadly chewed up by my puppy and it makes it a little bit tougher to shuffle. But oh no, that was lots of cards. Hold on, we're going diving. I have been the worst card shuffler lately. I'm always a ferocious shuffler, but sometimes, I know, it's like 3 times in a row in 3 different stories, I had cards go everywhere. I don't know if it's my energy or what. 4 of Sacred Circles. Particularly, this card can talk about holding back, holding on to memories. But in this case, we see somebody who's kind of like isolated themselves. They're kind of smoking this like peace pipe, and they have like the ghosts are coming out of that smoke here. I gotta say that if this is part of what this emperor has been learning to do, I feel like he's looking right, reflecting on himself, reflecting on maybe his younger years, reflecting on who he's been, reflecting on, if we could say the ghost of Christmas past or something. If he's looking closely at himself and he's seeing little out of body experience, little like an astral projection, if someone could see themselves though at a different point in time. So I guess it's time travel is what I'm really saying more than astral projection. But if somebody could look at themselves in the past and see almost like there's what hovers around this person or used to hover around this person was the thing that was making them stuck. It was maybe this person was trying to use like forms of escapism instead of like letting themselves like learn lessons and grow. Whatever this is, we have somebody who is, I feel like they're reflecting. I don't feel like they're holding back. I think that they're holding on to the memories of who they've been, but they're doing it with an intent of saying like, I really need to remember who I was, where I was at, because that's really important now for who I am today. We've got a Princess of Staves. We got the Chariot. Yeah. This, and only an emperor or an empress rides in a chariot, right? So this person is moving forward, but this person is, I have to say, what it looks like to me, my strongest storyline that I see now, especially now that we see these cards coming out, is that this is one person's story. They went through all these different phases in the labyrinth. If they were, and let me backtrack for just a second. If this is one person's story, and if at one point they were feeling really hurt, maybe over a specific relationship or something, and they like rebounded that by saying like, well, I'm just going to be out for number one. I'm just going to do what makes me have a good time. And they did that for a while, maybe lived indulgent, maybe drank too much, maybe did whatever it was they were going to do because I deserve it. I can do whatever I want because I was hurt. Then they start to actually have some like self-awareness, maybe like, wait a second, there's more to what happened here. Maybe I've been reacting like I was hurt and that wasn't fair, but maybe there's more to this story. Until finally, I almost feel like somebody gets to the point of, why have I been like insisting that either I can't have authentic happiness, so I've been substituting indulgence, or why have I been insisting that, I can't make changes in my life? Of course I can. I can change anything. I can change my story. And if that's what this boils down to, is this person they've been looking for something that feels like they want to connect to it and commit to it. But ultimately it was needing to find themselves. And if they're brave enough to really look at themselves and reflect, especially once they feel much more powerful, then they can see the past that they went through. And I think that in the midst of all this, I don't know, I feel like this person numbed themselves at one point in time. I feel like this card to me is very connected to that that Four of Swords, because they're both fours. So we have the Four of Swords and the Four of Coins. I feel like this is very connected. They were kind of stuck needing to heal, but I think that they instead numbed out or something and held on to the idea that they should heal, but I don't know that they really did. And I think now they're in this position where they can look back at that and they understand it. We have the dog featured again here. And in this case, we have a Princess of Staves. This is like a Page of Wands. When we said, I think they've been trying to figure out what do they want to commit to, but first they had to figure themselves out first. This person needed to show up and actually want to be present for possibly her. She was present and this person knows it, and they seem to be on their way back to her. I feel like now that this person has found themselves, they're able to reflect on, why was I stuck? Why did I run from something? Why did I don't know. This person was surrounded by this smoke cloud, but the smoke cloud is like this ghostly, ucky looking creature there, right? It looks a little ominous. And I kind of feel like this person is reflecting on, I really wasn't in a good space at one point. I really wasn't. And when they think about that, it stirs up memories of her. She had a dog next to her. This was somebody who was already willing to be loyal to them at one point, and I don't think that they could accept it. Now they're headed straight toward her is what it looks like to me. Okay, hold on. We're gonna have to go down that road here. And once again, my nostril is itching. Anytime my hair is down, my left nostril itches. We got a Queen of Pentacles sideways. If this is what they're headed for, they don't know what they're going to receive when they get there. So this was one person's journey, huh? They got tired of themselves. They got tired of their own behavior. When they got to the middle of the labyrinth, when they really sat with themselves, not only did they find themselves, they also realized that they aren't happy with what they've got and that they want to make some changes. I feel like they got tired of the way they've been behaving. And now that they're moving forward, now that they're reflecting, now that they're feeling powerful and able to reflect on, what made them hold back, how did they kind of run from something? Now they're headed straight for this Queen of Pentacles, but this Queen of Pentacles is sideways. So we don't know how she's going to receive this newfound emperor. Two of Cups. How's she going to receive this person? Like they're the love of her life. And this is that twin flame soulmate energy. For someone who doesn't necessarily believe in twin flame stuff, I sure get that a lot in my stories. I have a different viewpoint on it is all. I mean, anyway, we don't need to talk about that, but whatever that means to you, twin flame soulmate, great love, whatever that is. But this person is now either aware that this is exactly what they've wanted to give their loyalty to, that's what they've wanted. They wanted to come in and give their loyalty there, but they had to first find themselves. Hold on, because I feel like, so this was the other card that we've got here. So this person, this is to clarify that Queen of Pentacles that came out sideways. We have like a soulmate, a great love. And then we also have this Knight of Cups. This is like, I said, how is she going to receive this person? And it looks like, I don't know if she's been thinking that she would be willing to ride her horse across a river to meet up with them if this person made some effort toward her. But that's kind of what it's looking like to me. It's like, if this person is really coming in with this vibe, I would meet them halfway in the middle of a river just to reconnect. Okay, but what happened? Why did we have that necessary healing in the first point? What was that about? If we're talking about this now in the context of one person, not 4 different people. Ace of Cups, 8 of Wands. Somebody needed to heal something before they were going to ever be able to give their cup of love to anyone. And especially before they were going to be able to really communicate and take action and possibly to be able to receive someone's cup of love. This hand could be giving or it could be taking. These wands are actually flying inward. So if this person had a ton of healing that they had to do first, and I said it looks like they're defensive. If this person was wounded by something else previously, by life, by whatever it was, if that made them really resistant to any form of love, like maybe there was, it doesn't matter what kind of love we're talking. Someone could be hurt through not having a loving parent, and that the whole concept of love is tainted, so they can't accept that. Or a betrayal from someone else in their life, a past lover, or something that cut this person very deeply, that made it so that this was the thing. This was the thing that they couldn't accept. This was the thing that they weren't able to allow in, is what it seems like. I gotta go one more time for that. The cards that we got when they get to the center of that labyrinth, when they get to some piece of understanding, because we've got that. I feel like they got tired of their own behavior, tired of like, why have I pushed all this away? Yeah. That's exactly what that is. Because we got the King of Wands in the upright. So when they get to the middle of that labyrinth, when they finally get through this winding road of experiences and figuring themselves out, and they get to that final moment of understanding. They go, I don't like what I've been doing. I don't like the behavior I've been displaying. I don't like the fact that I've pushed love away. Then I've substituted indulgence, maybe lots of drinking, maybe things that were, not very meaningful, but they were like a superficial way of saying, oh, I feel really good. Like this would be the equivalent of, we're exhausted, but we're trying to keep going. So instead we take a ton of like caffeine and sugar to hype our energy up. That's a false sense of energy. What we really need to do is rest. We really need to get some sleep, but we can't. So instead we pump ourselves up with these, fake things to keep our energy high. And we, for a while, even think we're doing fine. That's kind of what that is, until this person finally gets to the point where they start to really think about themselves, think about their life they're living, think about where they're at. And it's like, I don't even like this life that I've been living, this, whatever this indulgence is. This isn't even anything that I actually want. I feel like this person got tired of their own behavior. They got tired of themselves, tired of what they've been up to. So when they get in touch with themselves, I mean, we've had them getting in touch with themselves in really amazing ways in this so far. They end up headed straight back to someone that they realize was the real deal. This was somebody that was the real deal. This is someone who, by the way, dogs could factor in heavily here. The loyalty, maybe somebody sees this feminine like with a dog, or they see this feminine and they understand like there is a sense of loyalty, there is a sense of love, there is a sense of, when they think of her, that seems to be, I mean, that's what they're headed straight forward toward. So that is still what they want. And remember, that dog is associated with them finding that inner compass, right? Their desire to come in and offer their loyalty. That's what their inner guidance is telling them to do. And this is the destination. They're setting their course, but their course is their soul, their conscience, and they're taking action. I mean, they could be physically drawn toward going toward this feminine all of a sudden. This feminine is that queen of wands, right? Doesn't have to be a female, of course. It could be any gender, but we have somebody who's coming straight towards someone because this is a very powerful connection. And it's very interesting because if this person can show up that way, it looks like this other character would meet them halfway. It's a beautiful story of like finding oneself. And that's what this is. Someone is finding themselves. It does look like it's a romance story. It does. But I never know what we're going to get. And tonight, that's what we got. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for being here. I just remember, if you're new to my channel, I'm not a psychic. I don't pretend to be. I don't have that ability. What I am is a writer who writes without using a pen, and in this format anyway. So just bear that in mind. These are always about fictional characters. This is not about anyone's real life. So just bear that in mind when you listen to these stories. Please don't ever let it upset you or trigger you or anything like that, because it is not about you. It is just about fictional characters. But if you do enjoy my style, if you enjoy my storytelling, please do give this video a thumbs up. Please do subscribe to my channel. And thank you guys again for listening in. Bye. Take care.